I just wanted to share a little bit more on the concept of soul loss and relate it to a client I was seeing yesterday. Obviously, a client's history is deeply personal and I can't give, and wouldn't want to give too much information, but just to understand the concept of when we go through a trauma that overwhelms our capacity to cope and really destabilizes our inward experience, we often psychically separate. Yeah, so this is structural disassociation, disconnection from oneself. So this aspect of our history doesn't get associated with our usual memories. And this often happens in a traumatic experience or multiple traumatic experiences. So this aspect gets delegated into the unconsciousness and it sits below the threshold of awareness. So it's not within our grasp, not within our reach. Often, there can even be an amnesic barrier that's there. So the body, however, keeps a record of these experiences, and often there's, a deep fear, terror, survival emotions, deep sensations that have never been properly processed or felt. So in my work, I often, this is what I do, I bridge and dialogue with this aspect of the psyche in the person's unconsciousness. I sense it, I feel it, I attune to it, I start to see where it's at rather than me forcing and coercing a narrative onto this part of their psyche. I learn how to bridge to it, how to be compassionate with it, to bring the helping, my helping allies and spirits to this, to bring illumination, healing, and really listen to what it needs in order to heal. So that's part of the healing experience. And with my client yesterday, after working with these aspects of her, because there can often be multiple of them, getting to one of the last, well, it won't be last, but a really deeper layer in the body, that real survival sense of emotions, and bringing the awareness back to the body, because these energies and emotions get locked into our tissues, get locked into our cells, get locked into our organs, get solidified into the body, and because there was never an appropriate way to hold them through the original trauma, they never truly metabolize, digest, let go. And so when working with this part and bringing it safely, this is a soul retrieval, bringing it safely back to the body, and then letting the body know that it's okay to let go of the trauma, that the trauma is over. Because when these remain in our unconscious or in our dream body or astral body, they get stuck in the same vibration, the same energetic band, the same frequency, it's almost like it gets locked into a certain kind of consciousness, and it doesn't go ahead with the rest of us and learn that we are safe now, that the trauma's over. So when we do a soul retrieval, we're dealing with that part and the needs of that part and the trauma of that part, bringing compassion, empathy, attunement, and then really letting the body let go of the deep fear and the terror that it held. And so yesterday, it's almost like this part of my client's psyche for the first time realized that it was safe. It was safe to come back to the body, to connecting, back to the really deep fear and terror that had been in my client's kidney. I actually had her on her front on my healing table and had hot towels on her flanks and kidneys, and just really working with assisting the body to let go of that accumulated, stored, tight tension that was held there. And, it's a really beautiful thing to witness that homecoming of that soul part, that understanding of the body as well, catching up in time, that it's okay to let this go, because oftentimes we're holding on to trauma that was more than a decade ago, sometimes, in my client's case, probably 4 decades ago. And it's just a beautiful thing to witness, to hold, and to really bring people back to themselves and back to the present moment, where their nervous system, their organs, tissues, cells, everything can let go of that past trauma that was never able to be held, comforted, soothed, witnessed, and ultimately yet let go of. So my son broke this crystal a long time ago, and I often use it in clinic to, get my clients to understand that this is the part of them that often needs to be spoken to. It's in unconsciousness, it's out of our awareness. That's the part that we really need to get to, and bring it back home to the sacred self, and to come back to wholeness and healing. So I thought I'd share that.